Argentina lost the World Cup final by 1 goal in extra time. But the most important moment came after the match was already over. Messi walked away without answering the question everyone was waiting to ask. Scaloni spoke like a man who was not sure he wanted to begin again, and around them stood the remains of the greatest Argentine team in a generation. Spain had taken the trophy. But that night may also have taken away the people, the belief, and the structure that made Argentina champions in the first place. Because the scariest part of this defeat is not what Argentina lost in the final. It is what they may never be able to rebuild. For 105 minutes, Argentina kept the final alive. Spain controlled the ball. Spain pushed Argentina backwards. And Spain created almost every dangerous moment. But the scoreboard stayed empty. That was exactly where Argentina wanted the match. One save, one counterattack, one penalty shootout, one final Messi moment. Then Ferran Torres scored in the 106th minute. Argentina finished the final without a shot on target, and Spain became world champion for the second time. It looked like the smallest possible defeat, 1 goal after 2 hours of football. But it exposed the largest possible question. What happens when a team reaches the end of its greatest era before it has decided what the next one should look like? Argentina had experienced painful defeats before. The 2014 World Cup final, the Copa America finals that followed. Years when every failure became another argument about Messi. But those teams were chasing something they had never completed. This team was different. Under Scaloni, Argentina won the 2021 Copa America, the Finalissima, the 2022 World Cup, and the 2024 Copa America. Then it reached another World Cup final in 2026. This was not a team still trying to become historic. It already was. And that is why the final whistle felt less like another defeat and more like the closing of a door. Messi was 39. He had just played in his third World Cup final and carried Argentina to the final match of another tournament. After the defeat, he wrote about the immense pain of losing, but he did not immediately give Argentina a clear answer about what came next. That uncertainty became the first problem. But Messi's age is not the real surprise. Argentina has known for years that this moment was coming. The real problem is that nobody has ever agreed on what replacing Messi actually means. Because Messi was never just Argentina's right winger. He was never just its number 10. And he was never just its leading scorer. He was the player who decided which moments mattered. Argentina could spend long periods without creating anything. Then Messi would receive the ball between two lines, wait for one defender to step forward, and turn one passing lane into an entire attack. He gave Argentina something tactics cannot guarantee, a shortcut. When the structure was working, Messi made it more dangerous. When the structure was failing, Messi could make the failure irrelevant. That is why replacing his position is easy. Argentina can select another forward. Replacing his function is almost impossible. No single player can be expected to inherit his creativity, finishing, authority, and control of pressure at the same time. So Argentina will have to divide Messi into several jobs. One player must create, another must finish, another must control the rhythm, another must become the emotional center of the team. That sounds logical, but it also changes the entire way Argentina plays. For years, every attacking decision could eventually point toward Messi. Without him, the team needs a new center, and that center cannot simply be another player wearing number 10. It must be a new way of attacking. That would already be one of the hardest transitions in international football. But then Scaloni walked into the press conference. He spoke about pride. He spoke about gratitude. He admitted Spain had been better. Then he began talking about the future. Scaloni said he needed time to think. His contract runs until December, and he admitted that rebuilding a group like this would be an enormous task. Before the press conference ended, he became emotional and left in tears. His departure is not confirmed, but his uncertainty is real. And suddenly, Argentina's problem became much larger. Messi may take away the genius. Scaloni may take away the method that organized everything around it. That method began in 2018, when Argentina did not look like a future dynasty. It looked exhausted. The team had spent years carrying the pressure of failed finals. Messi had briefly walked away from international football. Every tournament felt like another trial. Scaloni's first achievement was not tactical. It was emotional. He made the shirt feel lighter. He selected players who did not treat Messi like a distant superstar. They ran for him, protected his spaces, and accepted jobs that would never dominate the highlights. Rodrigo de Paul could cover the ground Messi did not. Midfielders could carry the ball forward. Forwards could attack the spaces created when defenders followed Messi. The defense could absorb the risk behind them. Messi remained the center of the team, but he stopped being responsible for everything. That distinction changed Argentina. Before Scaloni, the team often looked dependent on Messi. Under Scaloni, it became organized around him. Those are not the same thing. Dependence means waiting for one player to solve every problem. Organization means building conditions that allow that player to solve the right problem. And that was the relationship that defined this era. Messi gave Scaloni something no other coach could manufacture. Scaloni gave Messi something Argentina had rarely provided. A team that understood exactly what it needed from him and what it did not. That is the part Argentina cannot replace by changing one name, because the real system was not Messi alone, and it was not Scaloni alone. It was the understanding between them. Scaloni could change the formation without changing Messi's importance. Argentina could play with 3 midfielders or 4. It could press high or defend deeper. It could control possession or attack the space behind an opponent. Messi could play behind a striker, drift toward the right, or stay closer to goal. The shape changed. The relationship did not. Messi kept the freedom. Everyone else kept the responsibility. That balance made Argentina adaptable without making it confused, and adaptation became its greatest survival skill. Argentina did not always dominate matches. It survived them. Against the Netherlands in 2022, it lost a 2-goal advantage and still recovered to win on penalties. Against France in the final, it lost control twice and still found a way through the shootout. That team learned that chaos did not automatically mean collapse. This matters because national teams do not have months to repair problems. They have a few training sessions, a short tournament, and almost no time to build trust after something goes wrong. Argentina already possessed that trust. Players knew what a bad moment felt like. They also knew it did not have to become a bad ending. But shared memory belongs to people. It does not belong to the shirt. When those people leave, the next group inherits the results, but not the experiences that created them. That is why promoting someone from Scaloni's staff would not automatically solve the problem. An assistant may know the exercises. He may understand the tactical language. He may even know every player personally. But understanding how a system works is not the same as carrying the authority to change it. Scaloni could leave out a veteran because the group trusted the reason. He could alter the formation before a major match because previous risks had worked. He could ask Messi to change his position because their relationship had survived pressure, defeat, and victory. A successor would inherit the job title. He would not inherit those years. The alternative is an outsider. A new coach could arrive with fresh ideas and no emotional attachment to the old generation. That sounds useful. It could also be dangerous. Change too much, and Argentina may destroy the habits that made the team successful. Change too little, and the new coach becomes trapped trying to reproduce Scaloni's football without Scaloni or Messi. That is the succession trap. The next Argentina coach cannot simply protect the past, but he also cannot behave as if the past taught him nothing. He must decide what belongs to Scaloni's era and what belongs permanently to Argentina. The sacrifice should remain. The adaptability should remain. The willingness to survive difficult matches should remain. But the dependence on Messi's rhythm cannot. The automatic authority of aging players cannot. And the idea that the next team must look emotionally identical to this one cannot. Because there is another pressure waiting: comparison. Scaloni rebuilt Argentina after disappointment had lowered expectations. His successor may have to rebuild Argentina after success has made them impossible. Every new number 10 will be compared with Messi. Every tactical change will be compared with Scaloni. Every close knockout match will create the same question: would the old team have found a way? That question can protect standards. It can also destroy patience. A younger Argentina may play faster. It may press differently. It may need more structure and less freedom. It may win matches without one player controlling the entire emotional temperature of the team. But if every difference is treated as decline, the next era may be rejected before it has time to develop. And Argentina does have players capable of developing it. Julian Alvarez can become a central attacking figure. Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister can carry greater responsibility in midfield. Christian Romero can become part of the leadership core. Younger creative players can receive more minutes and more authority. The future is not empty. That is important. This is not a story predicting Argentina's collapse. It is a story about why talent alone will not prevent one. A squad can have excellent players and still lack a shared idea. It can have leaders and still lack the right hierarchy. It can have a good coach and still spend years living inside the shadow of the previous one. Argentina's next challenge is not finding enough quality. It is making the quality fit together without the two people who once made everything make sense. So ask yourself this. What would be harder to replace? Messi's goals? Scaloni's tactical decisions? Or the trust that allowed both of them to change Argentina without breaking it? Because goals can be redistributed. Formations can be redesigned. New leaders can emerge. But the relationship between a legendary player and the coach who finally understood how to build around him only happens once. And that brings us back to the final. Spain looked like a team moving into its future. Argentina looked like a team trying to extend its past. Spain's victory did not prove Argentina was finished, but it forced Argentina to confront the question success had allowed it to postpone. How do you build the next team when the current one has become almost impossible to improve and emotionally impossible to leave behind? That is the real danger. Not that Messi may disappear, not that Scaloni may leave, not even that an extraordinary generation is getting older. The danger is that Argentina may spend the next 4 years trying to rebuild the same team when the only way forward is to create one that looks completely different. The scariest part of Argentina's World Cup loss is not that its greatest era may be ending. It is that the next era may be judged as a failure simply because it does not feel like this one. Argentina can replace the number 10. It can replace the man standing on the touchline. But replacing the understanding between them may be the hardest task of all. And if the country cannot accept that the next great Argentina must be different, it may lose something much bigger than one World Cup final. It may lose the next team before that team is ever allowed to become itself. Which part would you protect first? The tactical flexibility, the emotional culture, or the freedom built around Messi? If you enjoy football stories that go deeper than the final score, subscribe for the next one.